everyone. My name is Charlotte Sofia Briones. I am a filmmaker from Los Angeles. Big surprise. And I am coming to you to propose a new film that's called Midnight Concert. The story follows a trans college student who has recently lost her sister. She is trying to do whatever it takes to get clues, get answers to what happened in the disappearance. And along the way, she discovers some secrets about the popular pop singer called Nocturnal. The story has been in development for a good while now. The first draft of the script was actually written back in 2020 during the first lockdown that we had. The project is very special to me for a lot of reasons. The first being that I myself am actually transgender as well. I am a trans filmmaker, so giving voices to the LGBTQ+ characters is very important to me. It's very much something that I felt we needed. I've seen a good amount of films that center around LGBTQ+ topics / people. A lot of the time I notice that the story kind of revolves around them being or identifying as whatever. So I wanted to do something a little different by making a story where the characters just happen to be LGBTQ+, where that doesn't factor into the main story itself. Because at the end of the day, trans people, gay people, lesbian people, bi people, non-binary people, we're all just people at the end of the day. And that's what I'm trying to stress by doing projects like this. There's a lot of horror movies, there's a lot of drama movies, there's a lot of comedy movies, there's a lot of Western movies, a lot of whatever movies that have hetero, cis characters, and that's all fine and good. We're fine with those kinds of stories. I'm not saying to get rid of those types of stories at all. I'm trying to propose that we need more for representation that's not seen as much, or that's seen as kind of like a subgenre when it really shouldn't be. So I myself have been making short films for a good while now. I've been writing and directing ever since 2017. If you want to see any of my past work, you could click the link in the description or go to rabbitsodaproductions.com. This is also the first time that I'm crowdfunding a project. Now, given that my past projects were all shorts, a lot of that was just money that I had aside from work or savings or anything like that. But for this, obviously we're gonna need a lot of money. And I'm sorry, but filmmaking is not cheap, especially doing a feature film. And especially doing a feature film to this extent where there's going to be a lot of costumes, there's a lot of special effects, there's a lot of actors, a lot of locations. There's a lot going on with this project. So that's why we really need your help. Now if you're sitting at home thinking that this sounds a bit fishy, that you're not too sure about where you stand on donating money towards a project like this, I would suggest watching the short film Midnight Concert Ticking Clock, which has been up on the website. It's going to be linked down below as well. Given the LGBTQ+ elements, I'm very much aware that it's going to drive some people away, but in all honesty, if that bothers you so much that you don't want to see this movie, then frankly, I don't want you to see this movie. The LGBTQ+ community is under attack constantly. Specifically, the trans community gets a lot of hate, especially in recent times. With all the legislations, all the laws, drag is not hurting people. Trans people are not hurting people, LGBTQ people are not hurting people. I'm not sure if any of this is going to change at any point soon. Given how many things are changing so rapidly, it's hard to see a world where this just kind of blows over. But as long as stories like this keep getting shot around the world, it gets more people coming in. Eventually we could ease people into the idea, at least what I would hope so. Like I said, I've been working on this project for a good while now. I've been in contact with a good amount of people, good amount of actors trying to get everything rolling, and we actually have a special message from both actresses, so if you'll take it away.
Hey, I'm Griffin Kelly and I'm playing Lori Hart. She's an artist who's on a quest to find out what happened to her missing sister and take down a vampire superstar. Easy peasy. Lori's arc is all about processing grief and really learning to survive on her own. Her sister was her main source of protection and inspiration for her entire life, and the last couple of years without her, she's sort of had to figure out what to do with herself, and that's come out in her really trying to find out what happened to her sister in a way that I think is preventing her from becoming her own person. You know, her sister's gone, but Lori's still stuck in that relationship because she can't move on from it because she doesn't know what happened to her sister. But I think along the way, she finds out how to fend for herself and really come into her own and pursue what she wants. I also really, really like the role of Lori because she is a trans woman whose story is impacted by her trans experience but isn't about it. You know, it's not a story about a trans woman. It's a story about a woman trying to get justice for her sister. And she's also trans, if that makes sense. She's not a one-dimensional morality tale about how hard it is to be trans, but how hard it is to lose someone you care about. And it's also gonna be really fun. I love vampire stuff, so it's gonna be a blast.
Hey, I'm Abigail Kilmeyer. I'm an actor based in Los Angeles. I'm also a singer-songwriter under my artist name, Abigail Fierce. I have about 4 million streams across Spotify. My music's kind of in the pop rock indie genre. I play a lot of instruments, but mostly guitar. My recent acting credits are Hulu's Love Victor, NBC's This Is Us, and the brand new Paramount Plus movie Fantasy Football. I decided to attach to this project because the role really spoke to me. I'm an LGBT musician, and so is Jocelyn. I've read a lot of scripts in my time, but I thought this script was really special and really fun, and it has a little bit of everything in it, and I think it could be a really cool movie. I thought the script was really well written and has the potential to be a hit in a lot of markets because there's a little bit of something for everyone. There's like the thriller, horror, supernatural aspect with the vampires. There's the investigative aspect with Laurie going after Jocelyn and finding out what the real story is. There's the LGBTQ plus aspect. There's music, which ties in the younger audience. There are even moments throughout it that are both dark and humorous, which makes it even more enjoyable. I'll include some clips of my original music, but it might be easier to just go to abigailfierce.com. There's clips of all my acting work, all of my music, and you can check me out on social media to find out anything you want to know about my career. I have a new song coming out June 2nd called Daphne. It's the pop-punk sapphic love song that I wish I had had when I was younger, and I think it's definitely going to be an indie summer anthem for LGBTQ+. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm excited to break ground on this project. Daphne.
Slips a note into my backpack. Meet me at 3, we'll drive across town. Scream along to stuff with the windows down. And I always tell her that I just wanna be your girl. I'll scream it to the world, to your world. I don't care who sees, you're the only one for me. But she says no one can know, so they don't. I just wanna feel okay again. I just wanna feel like I haven't been drowning in the bottomless pit that is my soul, with the hive bees buzzing in my skull. And I just wanna feel okay again. I just wanna feel like I haven't been these days. I see the way you look at me when I'm dancing in the grocery aisle, and I can't help but wish it could be like this all the time. 'Cause I could love you right, make you feel alive, be the one who believes in you when no one's on your side. And I know you don't see me like that, and it's driving me out of my mind. 'Cause she's never gonna love you right. No, it's fine, it's okay, it's probably better off this way. I guess all I'm looking for is some sort of goodbye. What a long face and the tear-stained sheets. Who is this girl? 'Cause she's not me. I met you when I was 16, high on life, back when that was all I needed to feel alive. But you came and changed me, shook something up deep inside. And most nights I turn out the light and it's not that hard. He's not the life of the party, but I
Wow, wasn't that great? I think so. It looks like we're aiming to shoot in early 2024, most likely in spring, although a solid date has not been locked. One of the reasons why there is no solid shoot date yet is because of the funding. Like I mentioned, filmmaking is very expensive. There's a lot of things that need to be accounted for. Actors, any stunt work, any props, any catering, any travel, all culminates into a very high price tag, which is why we're asking for the amount we're asking for. Yes, it's a very high number, however, this is actually not the full amount we need. This is a good majority, but it's not the full amount. So we're looking to get as much as we possibly can, which is why it's a flexible goal. Obviously, we're not just trying to ask for money and take off with it, and that's that. We're offering a lot of incentives for you to consider how much you want to donate to this project. Everything's going to be listed on the side. Of course, there's going to be a lot of obvious things, name in the credits, or a special thank you message, maybe a signed script, maybe you want a prop that was used in the movie, or want an online Q&A with me, the director, or some of the actors, or something more special like a VHS copy of the film. This film actually revolves around music quite a bit, so we're emphasizing that by actually offering a vinyl and a cassette tape for incentives. Obviously, the soundtrack is going to be available on digital once everything's finalized, but these are extra little perks. There's always a possibility that this is going to fall through and this campaign's going to do absolutely nothing, nobody's going to pay attention to it, or we get a good amount of attention, but it doesn't raise what we're looking for. That's okay, because no matter what, I promise you this film is going to happen. There's some more information down below if you want to read up on any of that information that I may have forgotten to go over. Make sure to follow our socials to be up to date on the status of things. One final thing before I go, I know horror films are not everybody's thing. I know films aren't everybody's thing. However, the LGBTQ plus elements I'm trying to push for are very important to me. It's not a political thing. Trans rights, gay rights, lesbian rights, any LGBTQ plus rights, drag rights, they're human rights at the end of the day. And it's very sad that we still live in a time where we're being oppressed, that we're being turned away from certain things, that we're being told we can't do certain things, we can't love who we love. It's very disgusting. So if you watched through all of this, read through everything, and your takeaway was that you still don't want to contribute to this project, okay, maybe it's a financial thing, or maybe it's not your thing in particular, we still ask that you share this as much as you can, because the closer we are to reaching the goal, or even surpassing the goal, it gets us closer to shooting the film on time. But after all of that, if this still doesn't sound like your thing, I would suggest looking at the links below, because there's a lot of great LGBTQ plus organizations out there. I linked a lot of them below. You could contribute to any of those. There's no connection between us. They did not ask me to do that. It's something that I'm doing for them. I want to give them more exposure just because I feel like it's something very special what they're doing, and it's something I felt like it was worth sharing. Feel free to look up any of those organizations down below, read up on what they do. They have a lot of great things going for them. Obviously, there's more organizations out there that are not listed. This is just a handful. And with all that being said, I think I said everything I needed to. I hope you have a good day, and I really hope that you enjoy this film.